So welcome back to the theory of income determination with the help of ADAS approach. And in this we are going to do it with the help of a diagram. I'm going to explain that what happens if AD is greater than AS and what happens if it is less. Okay, and before we go on, yes, we are going to use the same. You should have this with you in this class if you haven't gone through the last class. This is what it is. Alright, so in this we are going to just take the ADAS approach, and in this we are going to talk what happens when AD is greater than AS. What is going to happen? So suppose when AD is, that means demand is more. Okay, so here it is. When what happens when demand is more? So what happens when AD is greater than AS? Suppose AD is greater than AS, it means that the buyers are planning to buy more goods and services than producers are planning to produce, that is supply. Now producers keep a certain ready stock of goods called inventory. When AD is greater than AS, it means that the buyers are buying faster than sellers are expecting. So what happens? In this situation, inventories start falling and come below the desired level. That means you're using your stock. Now to bring back the inventories at the desired level, producers expand production. And this raises the income level, which keeps on rising till AD and AS, they become equal once again. So that's what happens. So the equilibrium is maintained, and in the table we saw that as 400. Now there's another situation. What happens if AD is less than AS? So just go through this. So what happens when AD is less than AS? Now suppose that AD is less than AS, it means the buyers are planning to buy less than what sellers are planning to produce. As a result, inventory start rising and move above the desired level. Then what happens? As a result, the producers cut back on production and lay off workers. Thus, what happens? It reduces. What about income? The income levels are reduced. That is, AS, the downward trend continues till AD and AS once again become equal. So this brings the economy back to equilibrium. So it is only when AD equals AS that income is in equilibrium. That is, there is no tendency of the income to fall or to rise. So we showed you with the help of the numerical example. Now just look at this diagram. So in this, we've just seen that we've made this, in which you see now tell me, where is AD greater than AS? In which parts? You're right, in the beginning, right up till say 400. So you have AD, say 160 is greater than 100, 240 is greater than 200, 320 is greater than 300, and 400 is equal to 400. So in the first part, you have aggregate demand greater than aggregate supply. And then after equilibrium, that is 400, then what happens? Then the aggregate demand gets less than aggregate supply. So effect on income, it decreases. So that's what happens. And so when AD is less than AS, there's a downward trend that continues till AD and AS once again become equal. And let me also tell you, now look at this supply and saving and investment function. With the saving and investment curves, also income is determined. There's this equilibrium, and this is the equilibrium income. This is exactly what is with the first approach, AD-AS approach. In the same way we have the saving investment approach. So in the next class, I'm going to do the saving and investment approach of income determination. And in that also we'll talk about the disequilibrium.